welcome back to Beer There Drunk That. We're still rocking the dry.
Yeah, I'm still dry.
Just a short time longer.
Yeah,
Just a short
I'm
time.
actually I'm breaking mine on Friday at like 7 o'clock.
that's
So I'm
understandable.
I'm gonna be like 5 hours early, but I was like, you know what? I'm going golfing at a simulator that has drinks. I'm like, I'm gonna get a beer.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Listen, were any of us totally alcohol free the whole time, Keegan?
The whole
The
time.
whole time?
On my life.
That's why I was saying
Not
Keegan's the,
once.
I was gonna
On
say Keegan's the
my
strongest.
life. On my
The-
life.
You didn't have anything over 0.5%. Not even you
Nothing.
didn't even have a cheat day.
Nope. Not a one.
I I have a
What are you
lot
gonna
of
say, Luke?
respect for you.
I was straight up and said the bulk of my dryness was the fact that I will not be drinking in my house, which I think moving forward, I think I'm just gonna try and limit the days just in terms of like a health thing, you know.
Good idea. That's a good
It,
idea.
it, it was hard for a while. I was like, yeah, like I'll only drink like Thursday through Sunday at home, which is still most of the week technically.
Yeah,
And
which is
then
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
yeah,
3 days.
and
Yeah, I'm
like
good.
I
I'm
thought to
good.
myself, I'm like, that's most of the week. Maybe we should restrict that one. And then I was like, well, we're recording on like Mondays or Tuesdays usually, and that just means I'm drinking
Drinking the
during
entire
that.
week. Yeah.
And so,
I
really, why wouldn't I just drink on Wednesday?
I didn't have any alcohol out at restaurants or bars or anything, which is weird because it seems like it would be the exact opposite. I had a couple days where I ended up drinking a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit because the
Just
month of
like
January happens to have a lot of important
just like 9 or 10
events.
beers.
Yeah.
um, my birthday, Tracy B's is back open. Of course, I had to have
Oh yeah, you had to.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
The only time that I came close to breaking, well, one when I went to the brew house by me, which is really, really cool. They have a lot of great beers. They had good NA selection too, thankfully. But
Respect.
not even from that standpoint, because I was like, I can deal with the NA beers fine. Caitlin was an asshole, and I have my beer in my glass, okay? And so she had like a seltzer or something like that, an IPA. Yeah, I don't know, one of the two. She was kind of alternating back and
Something that
forth.
has bubbles and
She
alcohol in
was
it.
she was alternating back and forth. So I forget which one it was. I have my beer and she pretends to pour it in there. And I was like, fuck off. I'm doing dry January. Like, don't ruin this for me. This is about the principle. And she starts to pour it again. And I was like, Caitlin, fuck off.
That
So
fucking
never of my own doing. But
Caitlin, no, it's 0.6%
no,
now.
no, the ratios are bad.
yep.
No, that's awesome.
She
You,
almost ruined it for me.
I have immense respect, and again, I only drank while out places this month, which I still feel is like what I'm
That's
gonna
it.
try and do as my
Listen,
bulk.
absolutely. And you were
Like,
in Miami.
well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like I'm
That's sick.
traveling.
Yeah,
I don't have to, I don't have to
When
pay
you're
for a lot when I travel for work, so I'm okay with paying for beer.
for sure.
Went to a couple great places, South Beach Brewing Company in South Beach, Miami.
Shout
Party in the
out.
city where the heat is on. They had a very like limited selection of beers, but they're really really good. Their two main beers, what is it? It's a strawberry orange mimosa beer,
Oh,
gluten
that
free.
sounds really
It's
good.
like a little like it's got that like champagne bubble structure in it. It's really cool. And then they
Oh,
have a peach Bellini one as well. That's really really good.
oh,
oh, those sound really good.
They were awesome, man. And then I went to Casa La Rubia, formerly Winwood Brewing slash. It was called something else as well. Hold on. Uh,
well,
they
you
had
look that up. Oh, sorry. Go
oh
ahead.
yes, it was like three breweries came together. Is all, and they named it after their like flagship beer, which is like the official beer of Miami Heat called La Rubia. It's a blonde ale.
Oh,
Phenomenal
cool.
beer. But they
Terrible
do,
basketball team.
dude. I watched them get fucking smoked the other night. It was not like DeAndre Ayton still got it, man. Like
You
I
should
know
you
he's
should have
not
just
30, but still.
you should have grabbed a beer with Jimmy Butler while he's suspended.
He played that game. That's the one
Oh
game he's
shit, and
played.
one game in
I went
between?
to
Damn,
his last what will probably be his last game in Miami.
for sure. Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal. But I can't remember the three breweries off the top of my head. But they were all really, really good stuff there. Their best thing I think I had was they do these shots of it's their nitro porter with flan foam on top.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
oh.
So if you won trivia, you could either get a round of those for your team, which my team's just me and I already had one that night. You could get merch, and they just did a rebrand, so they didn't have any good merch. And so then it was just me being like, well, I'll just get money off my tab then. Oh, sorry, it was Vesa Sur Brewing, Winwood Brewing, and then I believe it's like it's just called like La Rubia now. It's really cool though. Would check it out.
I like that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I rather a brewery, and I think we've talked about this, but I rather a brewery focus on quality over
Hmm.
quantity. So even if a brewery has like three different beers, but they're all, phenomenal, that's great.
I mean,
Versus a
Tracy B's
place,
is an example of that, from what I know.
oh yeah, well yeah, exactly. And then they ended up like Jim ended up expanding over time, but he he waited until he nailed all the other shit.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
back when I remember first going in and there were maybe five beers that he brewed
Wow.
that were on tap. Um, yeah, only five. And then all of the other taps were filled with other breweries. They were all local, which was cool. Like the only not local one, which is literally just native to Rochester and not Leroy, New York, is was Jenny Red. So
Good for
all
Jim.
local. Yeah.
Good for
Oh
Jim.
yeah. Yeah.
I think I love
Come a long
I
way.
mean I can't wait to get out there, but I just still love the customizability of beer. I think that's like a phenomenal idea. So the way that he does it, I think is fantastic.
Oh yeah, with the flavor drops.
Yep. Yep. I think there's just a that's a really cool side of like
It's
craft beer.
it's no different than putting a freaking lime in a Mexican beer. Like,
True.
you
I
know,
know. No, I know. It
no,
just
no, and I'm not dissing you on that, Keegan. I'm saying like the people are like, well, that's kind of weird. I'm like, no, it like you're adding fruit juice, and you don't just have to do it with lime loggers. You could just do it with any loggers.
Yeah.
I think last summer we were at Oak Brewing, and we had Buddy, Sophie's brother-in-law had they're just there. It was just called Lager with like a bunch of A's in there, Lager.
liar.
And we had nachos, and they came with like lime wedges, and he'd like squeeze his lime wedge and put it in. He's like, "This is phenomenal, dude."
That's awesome. I love that.
So
What are we drinking? Or yeah, almost drinking. No, we're drinking it, but
we're drinking. I got Best Day Brewing Hazy IPA.
I
Uh,
like their can.
Dude, this is Sophie got brought this mix pack over the other day. This might be the best NA mix pack I've had.
Really?
Yes, I would
West Day?
highly Best Day
Best
Brewing.
day. Okay. All right.
I am reviewing one of their beers tonight.
Hell yeah.
But they're all just phenomenal.
That's really good. Luke, what do you got?
I'm gonna have a Bud Zero, but I forgot to grab it from the fridge before I came back into the bar. It's a short walk, but it's a walk, and that sucks.
Just get
So
some
now you can go get
stats.
it. We give you permission.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
What he doesn't know is that he's actually going to get a Coors Zero. But we're not going to tell him that.
Yeah, we snuck into his house and replaced all the labels.
Yep.
And with the Bud Zero versus the Core Zero, you can't tell the difference probably.
Nope. Hey, Luke.
The pack was unopened, so I went with the Jenny NA.
Oh.
A
Ooh.
Gen A.
If you will, I like that. I like that.
Agenda. My agenda.
I have I don't know why I brought this can. This is the one I'm drinking right now. It's Special Effects, the Hoppy Amber from Brooklyn Brewery. Really, really good.
Ooh.
I'm very much enjoying it. It has like nice caramely like amber flavors. I think it's really good.
I think we've talked about this in one of the early NA episodes, but just the fact that people are finally branching down to like the ambers and darker beers.
Yeah.
more than just Guinness Zero, um, is awesome. I think it's I want all those flavor profiles, and I don't want to feel horrible the next day sometimes.
Yeah, that's honestly, I feel like the biggest difference that I've noticed, even just recording the podcast, drinking NAs, is like, especially if we're doing, I don't know, whatever we're doing. I just feel so bloated and so heavy after just drinking 2 beers on the podcast or 1.5 beers on the podcast versus now, like I can drink NAs and I just feel fine. Like I feel good.
I think it was last night I was playing video games with some of my friends from high school, and I ripped like four NA beers throughout the night. And again, it was a week. No, it must have been Monday night because I was last night I was like working late or yeah, whatever day of the week it was. But I was like ripping four of them, and I was like, I feel great. Like, like why am I going to bed?
Yeah, probably staying hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drink a boatload of water at work throughout the day and like when I exercise after work. But we also have a fun water machine now where you can like you can add flavor to it, you can make it sparkling, you can add caffeine, electrolytes, and vitamins to it as well.
I love that.
Well, I started using these flavor things back when I was dealing with the gout, like just to mix it up because I was
Hmm.
having to drink so much water.
Remember,
You know.
remember the gout was a thing?
Oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Glad we got
Luckily, that's
I'm glad
far behind me.
I'm glad we eradicated it like polio.
Yeah, Lucius missed his gout vaccine.
Yeah.
Well, but my uncle showed me because he's been visited by the gout monster before too, and he was drinking these is it Powerade or something like mix.
Hmm.
And so I was
Oh.
doing that for a little bit, but then I made the mistake of looking at what's in it, and it was a little high in sodium, and I gotta watch my sodium.
You did. Yes, electrolyte. Like people at work, they're like, I've tried the water with just electrolytes in it, and it
Like
tastes weird. It
salty.
tastes like metal. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're drinking water with salt in it. Like, do you know what an electrolyte is, dude? That's
That's
what's
fair.
in batteries. Oh.
Oh,
Well, fellas, while I was towing the line of breaking at the beer house, I did have a really good beer I'd like to tell you guys about.
I
yeah,
would love
let's
to
hear
hear
it.
about it.
So, this is Klaus Taylor. I pronounced that horribly wrong. Clausthaler.
Klaus
Klaus Taylor.
Taylor.
I think so. Grapefruit. Um, so it's a grapefruit shandy radler NA.
Ooh.
Ooh,
It was awesome.
So they only dropped the
Awesome.
ABV by like 2%.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. They didn't actually brew anything new. They just watered it down a little bit
Yeah,
more.
they just added more lemonade to it.
Exactly. Really, really good. 4.5 I gave it. It was like so whereas the Brooklyn Brewery grapefruit that I had, that was like drinking a Fresca. This was like having a grapefruit beer. Like I had the citrus that I wanted from a Radler standpoint. I still got the grapefruit. Like being able to pick out the lemon from the grapefruit was nice. Um, I mean, I would happily drink many of those at that beer house, which is how I know it was definitely a solid one for me.
Mm.
It was just super, super light, super refreshing. Um, I wish I did honestly like I had one and I was gonna look to see if they had other or what other options they had and if they had stuff on tap NA. And I just really enjoyed this and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna sit here and drink this. So yeah, it was good. I'd recommend if anybody finds it. Solid beer, near beer.
near beer. Yeah, I've been surprised lately by the places that have a variety of near beers and the places that I think would and then have like one and have like the like blue like just Labatt NA or something which is good but um like Tully's I think it was Tully's randomly had a selection of like four different ones but then
Respectable.
I feel like my parents were talking about it might have been the New York Beer Project, which you'd think, oh, they probably have some options. Had like one, so
One. Yeah.
That they
who
don't make
knows?
probably either.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I think I was at
I
Tuckerman's
might have
back.
gotten the.
I was at Tuckerman's back home. It was the last day I went. It was like my second to last day home. It was just like my mom and I stopped in for a beer, because that Tuckerman's Pale Ale could, if they sold kegs of that in Wisconsin, and that was the only way I could get it, I would buy a fucking kegerator just for that beer. I'm not even kidding. It's so good, man. But they had like, I will say at least half the flavors of Athletic Brewing beers in the fridge there that you could like for people to buy. And I'm like, glad that you have a bunch of options as your brewery with a bunch of beers. And you're not just being like, oh, we bought Coors Edge, which is like half the bars out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a lot of Coors Edge out here. Breweries will usually have like an athletic one, usually the Run Wild IPA, I think, is that the blue one?
I think that's it. Yeah.
That's the common one that I find a lot here.
Hmm. Um, yeah, man. I'm a sucker for variation. Like
I
if there are options presented, even if it's something that's not particularly enjoyable, um, if I have a couple choices, it automatically makes it better in my book.
yeah, man. I
Luke just doesn't want to be told what to do.
No, it's like, would
Don't
I
fucking
like to
tell me what I'll have.
like every morning, would I like to have a sausage, egg, biscuit, whatever, with
an
like a
Irish
hash brown?
coffee.
Yeah, that would be great. And an Irish coffee.
Yeah.
But no, like I can't every morning. So then maybe I'll have like like a Nutri-Grain bar type thing. Like the Trader Joe's. I walked into a bar. Like great,
Yeah.
great brand. Now they have some options. Now, every morning I wake up, I come downstairs. I pretty much, because I wake up late all the time, not late for work, but like not giving myself that much time, pretty much right out the door. I'm like, what should I have for breakfast?
And then you walked into a bar.
And
So,
then
so then I walked into a bar. Well, then I open a drawer and I look and I see, I have strawberry or I have blueberry. What kind of morning is it going to be?
and it
Then
turns
I
out my
get
mom
to
ate all the strawberries, so it's just a blueberry.
And I don't have
And
choices.
then I cry my whole drive to work.
Then I get to work and I take it out on my coworkers and
It's weird they've got a cigarette vending machine in the office, and I started smoking because of that.
dude, I have a coworker who has for breakfast every morning coffee and a cigarette.
That's a
And then
meal.
for lunch he will have coffee and a cigarette. He eats
Does he
one
weigh
meal
a
a day
hundred
and it's
pounds?
dinner. No.
like, 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 I am picturing the scrawniest man I've ever met.
No, he likes food, but he likes dinner food. That's his
Mhm.
whole thing. Yeah, funny guy. He's hilarious. But
Huh.
but it's just a an interesting morning and lunch routine, or like breakfast and lunch routine. He
I wonder
just
if he does
brews a
that on the
pot of
weekends.
coffee.
Like if that's
Yeah,
like a if it's just a work thing, because like I don't eat in the mornings when I go to work. Like I'm usually not hungry until like almost 11. And I'm like, it's almost lunchtime. But on the weekends, if it's like 11 o'clock, I'll have a little snack before lunchtime.
I,
sometimes I'll have, two or three
cigarettes with my
lunches.
coffee.
Yeah, I started my Hobbit dieting.
What about second breakfast?
Yeah, I rewatched that on the plane the other day. I love Fellowship of the Ring, man.
Oh yeah,
Um,
man.
and what else I loved was the Bravus Brewing Co. Blood Orange IPA.
All
Oh, oh,
right.
Bravis, Bravis,
Yeah, so
nice.
Luke had the peanut butter dark the other
Oh, which I
day.
need to try.
That was phenomenal, man. That was like
That was so good.
that was crazy because I bought the mix pack. I was like, all right, Luke reviewed that, so I'll have one of the other ones. Like to me, this was my ideal IPA flavoring. Like if this was like, true IPA with alcohol in it, like 5.4% or something like that, say. It's just like light, fruity. It smells like it has that like NA tinge to the smell of it. You know what I'm talking about? Where
Mhm.
you can tell there's no alcohol in it. But as soon as I took a sip of it, I had no clue. Like if you handed this to me, I would have drank six of the at a bar. I would have drank six of them and be like,
And
"Wow, I must
stumble
have
out.
hydrated great today because I'm not pissed at all." Like this is something like genuinely I would like to just keep in my fridge as an everyday drinker for when I want like that IPA flavor. Because I feel like that's part of the reason why I'll drink a beer at home is like I want this flavor, but this is the only way I can get it is from this beer.
That's
I
fair.
gave this a 4.25 out of 5. It's just phenomenal. I thought it was so crushable. I loved it. This was of the four beers in that mix pack, it was the best one by far, if you ask me. And that's with the peanut butter dark being really, really good too.
Wow. So
That's
it
pretty
sounds like
solid.
Luke, you and Donnie are gonna have to fight to the death. Only
Yeah.
one beer can survive.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm jealous. I've only had that one, the peanut butter dark. I want to taste these other ones, and then I'll fight Donnie.
Yeah. Because what if I'm right, Keegan?
Get me get me liquored up on some NA beers, and I am kicking some ass.
And you guys just put vodka in your NA beers.
I just want that
Shankies, man.
vodka flavor. Yeah, yeah, Shakey's
I put
NA.
Shankies in the peanut butter dark.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh.
oh.
I guess I know
And
what I'm doing
I
this
feel
weekend
like
when the clock strikes midnight.
Listen, that's like a nice fade in or a fade out of like a song, is just taking an NA beer, bumping it up with little shankies, and then you're on your way.
I start with
I
one
like
shot
that.
and then it's two shots.
And then you're just drinking shankies and washing it down with a beer.
You, I,
Quick Boilermaker.
I'm bad at like taking shots in general. So yeah,
That's fair. That's fair.
Boilermakers are huge out here. Like when you
Oh,
guys get
I
out
bet.
here, it's like you go to places and there's like a Boilermaker section of most places menus.
Damn. So hold on. All right. This is gonna sound dumb. Is a Boilermaker like a car bomb in the sense you drop the shot in, or you
No,
take a
no.
shot and then drink the beer?
No, rail whiskey
Separate.
and a hams.
Mm,
Like
Yeah, separate.
yeah,
okay.
you get the rail whiskey in like that a guy like free pours into a pint glass. And like you
Okay.
chug that and then you drink the canned 16-ounce hams that he put in front of you.
All right. Sounds
Dude,
sounds easy enough.
I didn't even know they had hams anymore.
Dude, I love hams. We had when I went up to Appleton for Christmas with Maddie and Buddy, we had hams on draft.
Dude,
It
does hams,
was like $2.
I was gonna say, does hams just like do a wide loop around New York State?
It's like upper Midwest
Gives it a
mostly.
wide berth?
Miller
Okay.
makes it, but it's upper Midwest. Like I have a Hams shirt.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you said when you went home for Christmas you had it too.
When we went up to Appleton for the holidays in Appleton,
Oh,
Wisconsin, Sophie's sister lives up north.
I was gonna say, I feel
And
like I
then
would have been able to sniff it out if it was on the East Coast.
Luke's
No,
got a pretty good nose for ham.
beer
Ham.
hound.
There's a reason I got gout. All right. So I had the Sierra Nevada Trail Pass Bruvesa,
Ooh.
Ooh,
which is
okay.
a I think a new addition to their NA mix pack. Um, Very good. I gave it a 4 on Untapped. Refreshing, crisp, citrus, but like specifically lime. It advertises hint of lime, so I'm not pulling this out of my ass. It advertises it. This I thought was weird. So it advertises as a blonde ale,
Mm.
but there are other light styles I might have put this under before that. Like I might have categorized it different than that. I wouldn't have guessed that they were going after that style, but to each their own. It tasted like a genuine light beer. That's what I want. That's what I want out of it. It did not disappoint, not at all.
I like a lot of Sierra Nevada's like normal stuff too. I think they have a lot of really good beers.
Hmm.
Um, so that's good to hear they're doing NA as
Dude,
well too.
their Oktoberfest, the Guterberg or whatever, Gutenberg collab or whatever it was.
Yep.
The black can, phenomenal, dude. Like that is next Oktoberfest. You guys gotta find that.
They have some pretty solid IPAs. Like their actual beer, their actual IPAs are pretty good.
The Sierra
They're
Nevada Pale is a classic.
Hmm.
yeah. That's one that kept me going through a comedy show when I think it was like the first comedy show I ever went to. We would, it was myself, Caitlin, her friend Caitlin, and two of her cousins, because we went to a Bills bar on in the Lower East Side to watch the Bills Pats game. The Pats could make the playoffs if they won, or they needed some help, whatever. But regardless, Bills beat the Pats. But we sat there, we ate wings, we had a bunch of beer, and I had like a solid buzz on. And then we went to this restaurant called Joe and Pat's, and this like Italian food, incredible, incredible. Like especially on a buzz, outstanding. So I did that, had a couple drinks, still kept the buzz going, and then I'm sitting through this comedy show, and I just have like couple Sierra Nevadas rolling, and I'll tell you, it did the job.
That's an easy one that you can find in a lot of places too.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, I like their whatever mix pack. I mean, probably multiple mix pack mix packs of theirs has their pale, but I remember my dad and I think a couple times back when we were doing work in my grandpa's basement and at my Aunt Bar farmhouse. Um, we drank through some packs of those, so I'll always remember that. Also, one time we were doing work at my aunt's house, and she had named Peggy Sue, this little dog that it's a pug and Chihuahua mix. I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's long. Like she is a long and short dog. So the difference between her standing and sitting is like this much. She just goes like that.
Just kind of tilts.
Well, we had a bucket of nails out and she got into it and she ate one. But because, and this has to be the mix, the breed mix that she is, she probably has like a digestive system that's a straight line like a freaking goose. And so she was unharmed somehow from that.
Shooting it out like a nail gun.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Peggy Sue is
It's
a
a beast.
crazy animal. She's freaking awesome, dude. She's she she was not made by God.
I love I
That might be the best description for like a fucked up animal I've ever heard in my
nature
life.
there's nothing natural about that dog's genetics.
Well, I heard this quote or I saw this quote on a post that was like, I live outside of God's sight and by extension his love. And I'm like, that's this dog, dude.
It's just it's amazing, man. So like it is like there's like I've had mutts in my life for pets, and they're some of the cutest dogs in the world. But then you see some out there that I'm like, wow,
There's some fucked up
like
dogs.
you
Some
let that happen.
animals.
Like like my sister's got like two weird looking dogs. Like her younger one, Marlo, is like built like a rabbit. He's got really short front legs and really long back legs, and like he's like 40 pounds. He has no depth perception. He tries to jump up on you and misses and just ends up scraping you with his claws every time.
The best, like, because I feel like dogs are kind of like babies, right? Like, you can't tell somebody that they have an ugly baby. First of all, because they won't believe you. Second of all, because it's kind of fucked up. But like, everybody
It's just kind of
knows,
rude.
but everybody knows, like, oh, that's an ugly baby, right?
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
feel like it's the same thing with dogs because you can be like, wow, that dog is fucked up.
dude. It's
But
like
you can't really say that.
her other dog has like a like I don't like one her one dog Marlo is like a part like Australian Shepherd, so like he just has like a little nub tail. But then her other dog has like a like it looks like it's a normal tail, and then it goes at like a 45-degree angle for like 2 inches, and then it's just like it's like 3/4 the length of what a normal dog tail should be. It's just this weird looking thing, and she just got it.
Because we love dogs. We do love dogs, though.
We do. Oh my God.
Even a fucked up dog is a dog we love. But
Yes.
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it's not a fucked up dog. Just like Again, people with an ugly baby. They know it's an ugly baby. Still gonna love the shit out of that kid, right? So
Yeah,
can't
Yeah.
complain.
they'll
Can't
grow out
complain.
of it.
Or maybe not.
Or they grow into
And
their thumbs.
that's well, I grew way past my thumbs.
What'd your parents do to stunt the growth of those?
They just
They
kept
just
it,
kept
dude.
shaving.
You
It's
wore
like I was
them.
gonna say, it's like propagation with plants. They just kept kind of cutting his thumbs.
We want another kid.
How do you think Anna was born? It was just a bunch of thumb tips like pushed together and then let develop.
Dude, she's got club thumbs too. Nobody else in our entire family has it. We can't track it through the ancestral line. We don't know where the hell they come from. So something with the combination of genes between my parents created this monstrosity attached
They
to my hand.
smoked
Oh,
PCP while you were in the womb. Like, were there
oh, they're
external
mad cute.
factors? I'm glad you got something to keep you individual, Luke.
Yeah. Yeah. Got one or two things.
Just those things.
That's it. No,
That's
other
it.
than
Yeah,
that, I'm a
this.
really boring and uninteresting person.
You wear beige every day.
Yeah,
No,
I
he
try.
wears brown every day.
I was gonna say I do wear gray pretty consistently.
Same. I wear a lot of gray.
Well,
Well, it's the
except
freaking
Donnie, you
best,
can
dude.
you can see what colors you're wearing.
Oh, Keegan.
All
Oh, we were
right.
being so nice this
I'm gonna
episode.
have to break this one up. All right. We'll see you guys after I break up this fight.
Don't you ever talk to me like that again. Now,
You know
once
what,
we
Luke?
start this podcast, you're gonna be real sorry. All right.
We already started, Luke.
All right. So, what did you guys have as your second tastings?
I
A
had
can
a
of
I
whoop ass.
I had our dirty laundry aired.
Yeah. I had
God.
grievances.
Yeah. Luke always has grievances.
I'm a negative Nancy.
Isn't that the
That's
guy
what
from
they
Star
call
Wars?
me. Negative Nancy?
No, grievances.
Oh, general grievances?
Wait, I love that idea because I'm picturing a guy, still the same General Grievous, but he just is saying shit he hates the entire time. Like he has no lightsabers. He's just like violently spewing things that he hates all
He's
the
like,
time.
He's
And
just
that's
a
it. That's all he does.
this ship is stuffy. But then he does like the General Grievous cough.
he
Yeah.
he's a union rep. He's filing grievances against his employer. He's got four clipboards instead of lightsabers. Oh yeah, we have woke Star Wars now, guys.
We should
They
write that.
destroyed Star Wars.
Beta woke. Are you guys gonna buy the Donald Trump NFT cards? He
I
announced
I
them.
I'm gonna focus on money for groceries.
If you buy
yeah, I was
seven,
gonna say I can't afford shit.
if you buy 75 of them, you get to go have dinner with him at Mar-a-Lago or whatever it is in Florida.
But he's not. I'll tell you what. You're gonna buy 75 of them. He's not gonna pay for you to get down there,
Probably not. And
and not
they're
gonna pay for
99
where you're staying.
they're $99 a piece.
Jesus Christ! Somebody spends
I,
almost $8,000 to have
like a
dinner with Donald
horribly
Trump.
designed website too. I went on there earlier. It's crazy, dude.
That's good. That's
Welcome
good.
to America. That's our political chat for the day. I had a really, really good beer as my second one.
Let's hear about it.
Um, this was from Best Day Brewing, who I mentioned earlier. Their Electro Lime, Circa de Cerveza. So, near
Ooh.
beer. This was a
Oh.
4.75 out of 5. Yeah, Keegan pulled up
Oh
Google Translate.
shit.
This thing was like chef's kiss. Just perfectly bright, tangy citrus lime. This is like this is the crushable lime lager NA version. It is insanity. Like this is the beer. This is why Sophie bought the mix pack. She's like, well, this one's just really good. You should have it. and holy crap, man. Like,
She wasn't lying.
yeah, I
That
don't.
is right up your alley. Doesn't matter if it's an NA or not. That
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I am known to like lime flavored beers. That's no secret in this world. Like, genuinely, if I drank this on a summer day after having mowed the lawn, this would probably be a 5 out of 5. You know,
I love
context.
that. I love that. Context does matter.
Oh, careful. You might piss my mom off. She and I had an argument the other day because she says that we have been unfairly penalizing beers because we haven't been having them in the right setting. Now, and we actually caught part of it on the garage camera because I kept going, no, no, no.
That's going
Um,
to be released to the public shortly.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, as part of the investigation. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think we unfairly, I don't think we're dinging that beer. We're just saying it might have gotten extra points if it was in that setting. You're saying, right, Donnie?
Yes, I think every beer, like if I were to ideally rate them and put them in a vacuum of like the vacuum rating, I think you go plus or minus zero point 0.5 on it. I
Okay.
think like pretty reasonably, you know. And maybe that's too much, maybe that's too little, but that's how I think. Like to me, it's usually like the beers that are on the verge of the next level. Like this is a 4.75 out of 5. If I have it in ideal conditions instead of a -5 degree day in Wisconsin, like sitting in my sweatpants, if I'm in shorts, busting my ass outside, like yes, 100%.
Yeah, might drag that number up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. There we go.
I
Take
yeah
that, mom.
yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with leaving room for context.
The reason something's a
I
5 out of 5, like it's hard to be perfection in
yeah,
any
and
aspect of life.
right, and I think that fives, if you have a true 5 out of 5 beer, regardless of the context, it's a perfect beer. Is how I'd say it. Like that's anything beyond like whether if it's not a 5 out of 5 or if it's a five and if it's like a 1.5. I think those are the two ends of the spectrum where context isn't going to change it enough to change the rating. But anywhere in between there, I think there's always room for upgrade and downgrade of a beer based on the context.
Sure.
Sorry, Mrs.
Right.
Redelic.
It's an experience. We take experience into account.
I think as you rate anything, you gotta, it's all the factors around. Like, I'm sorry, a hot Jenny cream ale is not gonna do the same to me as a cold one will.
You wouldn't do a hottie toddy with a fucking Jenny cream ale?
Yeah, I microwave the can.
Gotta make sure you get that metallic, that aluminum in there.
Yeah. But interesting that that was a point of contention in your household, Luke. I never expected that us to be so controversial.
We are we're
We're so
polarizing
brave.
characters. That's what I saw on our reviews that are out there. So,
They're
Did,
all five out
did,
of fives.
yeah, didn't we wite the reviews that we were controversial?
but they were 5 out of 5s because it was warm weather out, and
Yeah. Right. I think same thing, right? There's gonna be a time where you're like, fuck these guys. I don't want to listen to this podcast. And then there's other times where you're gonna be like, fuck these guys. I don't want to listen to podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? Are you going to play it in your earbuds while you're working? Some of our listeners do. Yeah. Are you going to play it out loud at church group? Mm,
Yep.
probably, probably not very loud, but yeah, out loud. I expect
If
that.
you forgot your earbuds and it's getting really boring and you're just holding your phone up to your ear. Uh,
What? I've always wondered that. Like, why is wine the choice for communion? Like, why not like a nice West Coast IPA and some like Ritz crackers?
Ask Jesus.
you are the people who have been to
Yeah.
church. I've never been to
One
church
of
in my
the
life. Like,
dude, one of the
like that's not a joke.
no, one of the coolest, legitimately, one of the coolest communions I've ever had. we were on a like one of the mission trips we did with like our youth group, and literally like one of the youth counselors had like um what's like the Nalgene, those Nalgene
Mm.
like
Yeah.
60-ounce water bottles filled with grape juice, and we had hot dog rolls that we had from Wegmans or like a grocery store, and that was it. And I was like, this is dope. This is dope.
Fair enough. Like
Yeah.
again,
Another context thing.
I
It's
think
everywhere.
I
There you
think
go.
personally the reason why it is the way it is, this is just my outsider speculation, is those things are just cheap for them to get. Like there's nothing in those fucking water crackers or whatever they are, like
That's fair.
Wafers?
whatever.
Yeah, Luke's a wafer guy.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait
a
for me to
wafer
finish
guy.
my sentence before you start talking over me, buddy.
Wafer, I barely know her.
Yeah.
You brought her, you wafer. That's what I always say. But I had a very fun beer as my second tasting beer here.
Okay.
And it was Go Brewing Jab Jab Grapefruit IPA.
Whoa.
Luke
Can you
Yep.
still, even NA finds the names with the beers with the longest names.
Well, Jab Jab, ironically, was my nickname in prison.
I thought it was
And
that's what everyone started calling you when you got the vaccine first. Jab jab. All right, we gotta stop getting
Jab Jab
political.
Binks.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the best one.
so yeah, well, all these Star Wars references, I'm loving that.
Dude,
Let's
I
continue
watched.
that.
There's been like it was like a Star Wars marathon on AMC, and I was just sitting there like cooking through a couple of like the latest movies, and I was like, damn, I kind of want to go back and watch them all now because
Yeah, man,
I haven't watched all of them in a while.
have a Star Wars marathon.
Every couple
Everyone who's
years,
anyone is doing
I do it with Lord of the Rings. I watch all the Hobbit and all of Lord of the Rings movies in like the span of 4 days.
it.
Yeah,
Well, now
I
that I'm reading through the books, I part of like the carrot on a stick to read because I don't tend to read. It doesn't come easy to me.
Unless it's on a beer can.
But no, but I'm like excited after I finish the series to watch the movies again and kind of see how they tie in, how accurate it is. But it
Yeah.
sounds like it's pretty accurate to what I
That's what I
read.
was thinking about doing with Harry Potter because they were also doing a marathon of those, and I was like, I should probably read more.
Yeah, man.
I don't read at
I
all.
like to read. I don't know. I'm too picky when it comes to books and I just need to settle. And then also it's just like a time thing sometimes. Like my library loan expires on my Kindle and then I'm like, "Oh crap, I have to re-up this book in an app on my phone and re-download it." And Luke should
It's a
probably talk
hassle.
about his beer that he just
I think
introduced.
so. I think so. I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, but first I'm gonna go through what I've read so far in Lord of the Rings. So we started out and
So there's a
um
guy.
but I this is one of the more complex NAs that I've had, if not the most complex um that I've had. I describe it as bitter, pithy, like an orange peel or like a
Mhm.
grapefruit peel,
It's a great word.
with a little more mouthfeel than I get out of a lot of other NAs, most other NAs. The grapefruit and the hops complement each other just like they do in your standard IPA. And this one had floaters. So this gets extra
Oh,
points just for that,
baby.
dude. It's the
Oh,
first NA I've had with floaters, which is,
Crunchy.
yeah, granola beer.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would definitely describe it as complex for an NA. 4.25, maybe 4 or 5.
Wow.
now is that difference a context thing, or it's just like a like you're not sure where to put it?
It is absolutely a difference of context, ma. No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. No. Um
Of 437. Split the difference. Four three
no,
seven and a half.
I'd have to have it again. And unfortunately, I can't do that easily because I only bought this one. But
Mm.
it was a hit.
I love that. I love that.
That's all I got. I'm staying silent the rest of the podcast.
Because of rebellion or what?
Well, oh no.
Oh, got him. Got him.
Because
Yep.
I was gonna see if we could get him, and that was a I was gonna say that was quicker than I thought, but I don't think it really was.
It's like we recently rewatched Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me. And there's a part with Will Ferrell's character who is like mildly racist. But it's like you have to ask me questions 3 times before I'll answer them. And so they start doing it. And then there was at one point where it was like they asked him another question. He's like, no, well, that's a new line of thinking. So then you have to go back to the original question if you really want that answer. uh, those are my
I
favorite
let
movies, man.
so so it was the night before my birthday, like we had some family over, and I was doing dry January, but I knew I was going to have a cheat day or two. Um, and
Month.
so, well, my uncle and my cousin's husband come down to the bar, and he holds up 2 beers and then he holds up 2 NAs. He's like, yeah, I know you're doing like dry January thing, but I didn't know if you were making an exception. And I go, yeah, I'm doing the dry January thing. And then I forget exactly how it happened, but about a second later, he's like, yeah, so you're not going to have any beer? I'm like, well, yeah, have a little bit. I did
Twist
not like
my arm.
that at all.
No, I totally get it, man. It's, I definitely have broken the habit of just casually drinking 3 beers on a Wednesday. So,
That's
That's a
probably
good
good.
thing. That's
yeah,
a very good thing.
again, very good thing.
I this just popped into my head. I feel like we should do a movie and beer pairing at some point.
Okay.
Oh, like a themed thing?
Not necessarily themed, but like just a beer that you feel like fits the movie. So if that's a theme, sure, that's a theme. Um, I don't know. I like I think something to talk about the context of what you're doing. So I think there's beers that pair well with movies. I think there's a cool way to we could I don't know. We'll
So
workshop it. We'll
it
workshop it.
no, I like this idea a lot. Um, I
As the resident movie guy,
feel like
like
Yeah.
on the podcast.
I was gonna say I feel like we should credit my mother with starting an apparent renaissance, okay,
Absolutely.
for our podcast here. Because now we're going into movies, we're talking about context, you know,
She's She's
a
a Leonardo
pioneer.
DiCaprio, Da Vinci, DiCaprio, Da Vinci, whoever you
Da
want it to
Vinci.
be.
Da Vinci.
One
It could be
invented
Well, we're
beer
doing
and one
DiCaprio.
movies.
invented movies.
Exactly. That's what I mean. They both fit. They both fit. So, that's why she stopped loving Luke when he turned 25.
Well, it was far before that, but
It was once she had to kick him off the health insurance.
yeah, she kicked me off at 10 years old, dude. That was a little weird.
Do you know what it's
Um,
like applying for healthcare as a 10-year-old? It's horrendous. That's why it took so long for the gout to get better. He's still working on a child's approval.
Yeah, dude, my pediatrician hasn't been able to see me in years, and I don't have another doctor,
I'm
so
behind on bills.
they
Okay.
didn't accept silly bands as copay. Um, I'll tell you about
smash.
my beer.
Never mind.
Oh boy, Luke.
No, I was gonna say smash my piggy bank to pay for my own wisdom tooth surgery.
That's
But
dental.
sorry,
That's
go ahead.
different.
Yeah. So I completed the trifecta. I had a trifecta quad. Is a quadfecta a thing? What's four?
Hmm.
Um,
I don't know if that's a thing. Anyway, I had the fourth of four Brooklyn Brewery NAs because I'm getting my money's worth in that mix pack. Um, so this is special effects classic golden. Um, So I really enjoy this beer. I gave it a 4.25. When I read the classic golden, I was like, it's gonna be weedy. It's gonna be like just a golden ale, like rock solid. That's what I was expecting. This it wasn't that in a good way. Um, so the characteristics that they list are light, balanced, and radiant. I agree with all of them. Um, the one thing that I didn't account for was like honey. Um, and it almost is more of like you definitely when you smell it at first, you're like, oh, it smells maybe weedy, but then you kind of get like the sweetness of the honey afterward. Um, but it's nice because they do it in a way that it's not like obnoxious when you're tasting it. Like I think there can definitely be again an over sweetness or something like that, but I think they walk the line really well. Um, so if you're looking for honey, I would go with the special effect classic golden.
Hmm.
Cool.
It did the job. It
Like
did the
almost like
job.
a like golden graham cereal. That's honey flavored, right?
Yeah, actually, that's a really, really good comparison. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was a home run. My two favorites definitely from them are the two that I have on hand, the grapefruit and then that classic golden. Although the amber was really, really solid, so I think they just
Brooklyn Amber is just good in general.
Hmm.
I
That's a
haven't
classic beer.
yeah, so I haven't had their amber.
That's
Um,
like that's
but
just it's good, man. I can buy that out here. They sell it at the at Avenue Liquor down the street.
okay.
Have you been to that brewery while you've been there,
No, I'd
Ethan?
like to. Yeah, I haven't been, but eventually, hopefully. I got a lot of breweries in the New York City, greater New York City, and then actually into Jersey too. I think there's some good breweries around here. So we'll have to I don't know, I'll have to figure out when I'm gonna do a brewery crawl and just kind of get it going.
We got you get you like those like hop passports or those beer books like I have.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because we have those and like for us that's just a great way of being like, all right, we're gonna go somewhere here. I think Sophie's parents like I think if you go to like 15 of them or something like that, you get a T-shirt if you send in pictures of you at 15 breweries. So they've
We
been
love a t-shirt.
yeah, so we've been going to a couple just to use them. We went to Urban Harvest the other night, which is a great little spot. They just have weird hours.
Hmm. Well, they should
Like
have
what, 6 a.m. to
passport.
11?
No, it's like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
on
that's a
like
little
a
weird.
Friday in the summer.
oh.
Um, yeah, I feel like they should do those passes like European style, where you get your passport, your European passport, and then you can kind of just go between countries pretty easily. You should be able to rack up the breweries between New York and New Jersey since you're essentially on that line.
Some of them may have both in there. Like mine has Iowa. Like one of the ones I have has like Iowa in it and like Hawaii in the back.
I think one of the ones my dad got when I was up there had like Pennsylvania in it too, I think. It was like New York and like some of Pennsylvania. So I think
There's
there's a little bit
Cool.
of crossover, but
You can get like there's one that's like it's like the hops passport, but it's like the whole country and it's like fucking huge. And there's like instead of like one stamp per page, it's four.
yeah, I mean you gotta fit them in. That's a lot of breweries.
You can also buy a carrying case for it in case you're wondering.
I was. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Then I want to frame each individual page afterwards and start a museum.
It's a really nice way to just kind of like pick out like, oh, where do we want to go? Like if there's, three places that are pretty close to each other and we're like, yeah, we'll go have a couple, it's buy one get one. So it's, if you go to three places, you're only paying for three beers and you get six. And you
There
don't
you
have to
go.
tell them that someone else is with you. You can just drink those all yourself.
They won't stop you. I checked.
Yeah,
I
I've
drank
tried.
12 just to be sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for after January to try and hit up some newer breweries around here, or newer to me.
Yeah, what do you
Some of
have?
them have maybe been around for a bit, but
That was my next question as we go into I was going to ask I assume our next episode will be a full alcohol episode.
Oh we're getting hammered.
My joke genuinely, and you guys can accept this if you would like, was highest high ABV beers. Like
I think that
everything
would be the
above
Oh,
eight
funniest thing to
percenters.
do.
you.
I'm in. I think that's a great idea. I'm in.
I'm
All
in.
That's a
right,
great
all
way to
right,
come out
let's
of
do
dry
it.
January. Because that's like
Zero
because
to 100.
you go from dry January to soaking February.
Oh yeah,
Because
Fucked up February.
yeah, there you go. Fucked up February. Because you got to drink double in February to catch up.
I
exactly.
I've got one that's been sitting in the pantry that's coming out for this.
Ooh, actually,
Oh,
yeah, I
I
might have
gotta
a couple in my
remember.
fridge I can pull out. I like this. I like this a lot. That's a great idea, Donnie.
But anyway, what are you looking forward to, Luke? Like if you'll like to name names.
Um,
Well, you
I
can't remember
think
now.
so. No, no, no. So I want to go to Strange Design. That's one of them. I've heard a lot about it. Also, Strange Bird. I've heard a lot about, and I have not
Hmm.
visited yet. But Strange Design is west towards Leroy. It's a little northwest
Mhm.
of Leroy, and Jim over at Tracy B's does a lot of stuff with them. Like he knows the brewer over there really well, and serves some of his beer. So I want to go over because I've only had Strange Design stuff either at Tracy B's or like I went to a beer expo thing with my dad last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I think last year. And had some of it there too. Yeah, good
Hmm.
beer. I want to check out the physical location. Then there was another one. Was it Nine Spots or did that close? I forget. But there's a couple of them even just kind of pretty close by here. That I would love to see. Let's see,
Awesome.
Nines. What
I like
about you
that.
guys? What are you most looking forward to getting back?
Getting back off the wagon.
Yeah, hopping on.
I'm going, well, I mean, I'm breaking it in a honestly the most perfect way, in my opinion. Friday, I'm gonna go and hit some golf balls with James, and I think Caitlin and Amanda are gonna come and gonna drink some beers, and then we're gonna go to Finnegan's, which is right around the corner for me, and have some beers, listen to some live music. I think it's a pretty good
Awesome.
way to move into February.
That's the dream.
But I
Yeah,
gotta work Saturday, so that kind of sucks.
That's the
that
nightmare.
kind of blows. Well, this Saturday is Indeed's having the release party for their LSD beer, which is a yearly release. Lavender, sunflower, honey, and dates.
Whoa.
That's a big boy beer. That's one I've had before, so I can't review it, but it's like an 8% like imperial ale. But it's so freaking good, man. It's just like it's sweet, it's strong, like it's really sweet, but the high ABV like helps keep it in check. It's a good
It
beer.
sounds good. It sounds good. I think it's a great way to start February.
With
Yeah.
lavender, sunflower, and what?
And
Dates?
dates. Yeah,
Dude,
LSD.
that's a wild combination.
It's one of the weirder, like, if you described it to someone, um, it's a honey ale, technically, 7.2% ABV. It's like
Uh,
I don't know, it's
that's
like,
intense. That's intense.
it's floral, it's just like strong, it's good. That's like something, like, I know people who just like go to Indeed just for LSD because it's that good. And then they
And they
drink
drink the
it.
beer there.
Yeah, and then they drink it. Yeah,
Uh,
it's a classic, man.
I gotta get out there and get some more pistachio cream ale. That shit was good.
It's
It was
DNA
so good.
pistachio was all right. It's not as good as the original, but
Or some like imperial pistachio cream ale too.
they only sell it in tall boys. 19.2
Oh.
ounces.
oh,
Oh.
God bless your area of the country, man. Truly.
It is like I've said it so many times on here. This place is so stereotypical, it's not even funny.
Like
Like,
they just lean into it.
yeah, it's just like again, there's like 40 something, there's probably 40 something breweries in just my county alone.
Jesus.
Like
God.
it's just like you guys will be walking through my neighborhood and you'll see what looks like a house, except it says the Day Drink Inn on it. And it's just a bar that used to be someone's house.
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, like a classic Wisconsin bar is it looks like it's like someone should just be living there, but you walk in and there's a bar and and a pull tab machine and a slot and like a virtual slot machine and like a
Dude,
bunch
that
of board games to play.
minus the slot machine thing, that reminds me of Ye Menden Tavern. I don't know if either of you went
Ye
there while you
mend
were
You've told
no.
me
living
about
here.
this place, I
Dude,
think.
it is a damp, musty basement of a house. Is honestly the best way to describe it. But it's freaking awesome.
That's the bubbler down the street for me. That's like the best. That's like my favorite like dive bar locally. Half of them are like cash only because they just don't want to report taxes.
Listen,
Uh,
you got to do what you got to do. I don't blame him.
yeah, they got a liquor license. It's fine.
Exactly.
Barely, but they've got one.
It's
Yeah.
written in crayon, but it's okay.
It's like the Ron Swanson letter. Like, do you have a
I can
permit,
do what I
sir?
want.
Yes, I can do what I want. Yeah.
Well, Keegan, do you have a question for us this week?
I do. We're gonna get controversial.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this is how listen. We have to drive people to drink, so fucked up February makes sense.
Well, good because you should
Um,
always have a designated driver.
exactly.
That's right.
And yeah, shout out Donnie. That's a good responsibility. I appreciate you.
A DD, designated drinker. Go on.
Designated Donnie.
Designated.
Wait, I love the idea of people like in their friend group, everybody gets fucked up, but they just call someone Donnie at the end of the day, and they're like, "Yep, you're the designated Donnie." I
Dude,
like that a lot.
I think I'm going to try to do that.
What?
So you're just
I
trying to
think I'm
replace me
going
every
to
time you have a beer now. I get it, Luke.
yes, and I'm going to send you the picture of whoever it is that I'm out with, who is Donnie for the night.
New Donnie.
Wait, hold on. Can we? Because do you know, have you guys seen like how on Twitter Antonio Brown has like a cracker of the day?
Yes.
I just want like designated Donnie, and then just a picture of a random person that is the Donnie for the night.
Well,
I
there was one.
love the concept of that.
I was at a party one time in college, like my last semester, and there was another guy we would hang out with whose like name is actually Donnie. And like there were some new people there that night, and like, oh, what's the name? He's like, oh, I'm Donnie. And then I was next, and I was like, I'm handsome Donnie. And so then that just became a running bit for a while as I was handsome Donnie, and I would see these people again, and they'd be like, that's handsome Donnie. And I'm like,
Wait, I feel like I heard someone call you handsome Donnie, and I was so confused by it.
we might have been out somewhere, yeah.
I definitely heard someone say that. That's fucking funny, dude. I love
Either,
that.
either way, what's your controversial question, Keegan?
Um, so I'll say which of the big three movie franchises is your favorite? So we're gonna go Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings.
Luke's gonna
Oh
get an ulcer
Luke,
from this one.
man.
Luke is the only one that is like I think vehemently like torn up about this mashup, this question.
Dude, back then, back in the day, man, I would have said Star Wars without question. Like I would have immediately shot that back.
Right.
But I love Lord of the Rings now, man.
I'm
I'm
Lord of the
all in.
Rings. My keyboard's in fucking Dwarvish. My cat is named Gandalf. Like I'm a dork.
I'm torn Harry Potter and Star Wars. I don't know.
Well,
I
okay.
hold on. I'm gonna admit something to you guys that I think Joe Lamica might be the only person that knows, unless you guys know already. I have never seen a single Lord of the Rings movie.
I'm not shocked by that. That's
Oh,
I think that's the
Keegan.
least likely for people to have seen, in my opinion.
Oh
It's fair.
yeah, I guess
I love the
of the
three. I
three
think they're
franchises.
the
Yeah.
least likely.
It's fair. I always get shit from him though because he's a big Lord of the Rings fan, but yeah, I've never watched any of
I
them.
knew I liked that guy.
Good dude. Good
I
dude.
knew I liked Joe. Well, that's our
Yeah,
show,
we weren't
folks.
sold before, but after hearing
Now
that,
we're set. We're set. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. And that's our show. And we'll see you next time while we're drinking real beer.
yeah, get the hell out.
Please.